Internships, once seen as gateways to successful careers, often carry hidden emotional struggles. Many students enter the professional world uncertain and prepared for the pressure they will face. Various students from Akira University share their internship experiences. Arinda Joshua, a veterinary student, his internship experience portrays the hidden emotional struggles.
My name is Joshua Arinda. I study from Akira University at Cover. I'm a year 2 student doing industrial livestock and business. Right behind me are the cows that have been isolated. We call them to manage a couple of diseases. And I've been here for about a week. First, a few problems. This internship started. I was mentally okay. I was doing very well. But over the past few weeks, I've seen a couple of challenges. Like medical care is not easy to get around this part of the country. Even reaching the place is also hard. The medicine is not really there. The people are not really that welcoming, I would say. The first weeks were very, very hard. Getting integrated into this community was very, very difficult. And that sort of disturbed me mentally. There's a day, I think it was about last week, I was sick. I was really, really, really sick. I didn't know what was happening. I was having these terrible headaches. I was vomiting, and I really needed attention medically. So I told my supervisor, she has one of these cars that they drive around for the farm. I'm not allowed to drive it, so she started to drive me around. And I told her to take me to the hospital. She was busy. I went in my bed, slept, but I didn't get better. So I had to walk about 7 kilometers also to the nearest medical center to get the attention that I needed. And then also on my way back, I got the border board on my way back. But the journey going to the medical center was a different one. I almost died on the road.
Chitanda Trevor, an architecture student who is doing his internship with Broco Construction Company Limited, stands on site, watching, waiting, hoping for guidance that never comes.
Chitanda Trevor, I'm a student of Akira University, Bachelor's of Architecture, and I'm doing my internship from here, Broco Construction Company. This is my internship program. Being a student of architecture vis-a-vis engineering, there are challenges, of course, we face as students while doing our internship here, and at times it affects us. Challenges of like language barrier with the other workers at site. Not all of them speak English, and us understanding our courses more in an English perspective, we find it hard to communicate with them. Very tough understanding of our protection on site as students. In terms of personal protective equipment, as you can see, I've tried my best today. I'm putting on my full PPE, and this is one of the first steps on site to our safety. Being a student, of course, the university has not helped us very much in terms of elevating our internship or making our experience of internship better. But as students, we always find our way and figure out how to go through this whole program. It's a very rough period for us because we know this is a period whereby it's standing between 2 semesters. It's a period where we're supposed to be resting, probably. But at the same time, we want to get the on-site experience as students. So transitioning from the first semester to the second semester without having enough break, it's a very tough challenge. So we try to use this period as a period whereby we can rest at the same time, get our professional experience while on site. So based on that, we find it hard to transition into this period, and many of us end up missing this period. It's financially stressing, and you end up in a zone whereby you really don't want to go back for the next day. Every morning that comes, you feel like you don't want to go back to site. You feel like it's too much on you, but at times you just go because you also want to study, you want to graduate. But by the end of this exercise, you just don't want to look at the construction site again. You're tired, you're stressed out. You feel like it's too much on you as a person. So it messes up with your mind somehow. You don't leave this internship period in the same headspace as you were before, and it's kind of challenging.
Jackson. Mumbere Oswald, an accounting and finance student doing his internship at Ministry of Internal Affairs, is not exempted from the ups and downs caused by internship. For many interns, the pressure to prove themselves is overwhelming.
Mumbere Oswald, a student from Makerere University, School of Business, Cobams. I am interning. I'm interning from Ministry of Internal Affairs under the Ministry of Accounts, and I thank God for that. After leaving university, we are leaving the classroom setting to the work setting. These are two different things. So one of the challenges we would incur personally is time management. You're used to class. We weren't so punctual during class, but now at work, you have to be punctual. So that adjustment calls in, and you have to be really punctual. Our work is not hands-on, it is theory. So they just set you aside and they give you a few pamphlets to read, but not hands-on. And that, I should say, should be that somehow limits our knowledge and understanding.
Mirembe Deborah, a journalism student who did her internship with Next Media,
Bwebale has been able to buy a plot of land in Home District in Kasese.
says that mistakes feel unforgivable, deadlines become suffocating, emotional resilience is tested but rarely spoken about.
Mirembe, I am a journalism and communication student. I'm a finalist. This is my last semester. I did my internship. It was last year. That was June. It's actually a year since I did my internship. Went to one of the biggest media houses in Uganda. So when I was there, of course, I was new to the place, no one to rely on. So I had to adjust to the place. So when I was there, of course, I used to work, go to the field every day. That was one of the most exciting things that I really used to love, going to the field, following up stories, looking for sources. It was really quite fun, and until it was towards the last week of my time there. It was in July. I was assigned to work on a particular story. So, and when I went there, I came back with a script. I submitted it to the editor. So, submitting it to her, she just shouts on top in the newsroom, shouts, standing up when everyone is like, "Where's Mirembe?" Then when I go up to her, then she tells me, "You can't be, you have gone to Makerere and you're writing such rubbish for me." And then she's like, "I pity your supervisor. I don't know who is even supervising you. You have wasted your time here." I bursted into tears. I went to the bathroom. I cried. I wiped those tears. I came back to the newsroom. I cried again. Then a friend of mine noticed that I was crying, so they asked me what's wrong, and other people. I could not even speak. I was so angry. How can someone tell me? So I rewrote the script. I wiped those tears, rewrote the script, submitted. Because the story had to run, I was already on the running order. So the story, after resubmitting the script, someone voiced it for me. Then I edited the video. Then I gave out the video to run because it was already on a running order. I was mentally down because how can she tell me that I have wasted my 2 months?
Emotional resilience is tested but rarely spoken about. Mental strain isn't tied to a single career path. It's an unspoken struggle across industries. Each profession presents unique challenges, but one truth remains: the emotional weight of internships is real. Meet Walunga Ma Joseph, an electrical engineering student who is doing his internship with 97's Engineering Services Limited, sharing his own side of the story.
This is Patrick Walungama. I'm from Makerere University, doing bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I'm in my 3rd year. It's a bit difficult for me, and even the rainy season that we are in right now, it's also a problem. From home to the company that I'm doing my internship from, the distance is called a bit far, in that I use 1 hour to 2 hours to reach the workplace. The naked wire tapped on me. Then I was shocked by electricity. That didn't leave me the same for almost a full week. I was nervous because of what had happened to me. I felt like I shouldn't go back to work, because even the company members didn't give me that first aid that was needed. So I had to put in my own money, attending at the problem I'd got. It was from the company, meaning that I lost morale in the course that I'm doing, that I chose for myself.
Some interns wrestle with imposter syndrome, doubting their abilities. Others absorb emotional burdens from their work, carrying stories that don't leave when they clock out. Mwesigwa Alan, interning at Law Refugee Project, shares his side of the story.
Mwesigwa Alan. I'm doing law at Makerere University. So I'm currently doing my internship and I'm doing it with Refugee Law Project. So what we do at Refugee Law Project is we basically help refugees and advise them, refugees and also the nationals, and advise them on their matters and teach them about them. You have to handle various clients. You do not know where each and every other person is coming from. Some of them may actually be rude to you, others some would be rude, and that was somehow bad on my side and would affect me in a certain way, that you're trying to help someone find a solution to their problem, but then now they are, in the end, they are just more of insulting you, and so you don't know how to handle that particular situation. So you had to figure it out, and you had to use what you know as an individual to find a way of dealing with such characters. Coming, then you have others who do not give you the time to learn. They give you like an assignment and they expect it like in a very short period of time. But then you find that you don't really address your mind to it. You're still trying to understand it, and failure for you to provide the given results, maybe that could affect you and the way the comments the supervisor could give. When you're going to the field, they would send you to the field, maybe like come to the high courts today, like as we are here. So you come to the high court, you do not know what you're going to expect there. You come to high court, you have to listen to certain cases, go back and formulate your own report. When I go back and formulate my own report, you're not given guidance of how the report should be flowing. You just come and make your own report, make the report, and then you do not know what you're going to be writing down. What from my experience, then now you realize that from my start of the internship period, I was mentally fine. I did not have very many things disturbing me. But because of these experiences that I've come to find along the way, right now it has affected me mentally in a certain way that I cannot be as productive as I would have been in my internship, and we do not have a window whereby we can share with those people, maybe your supervisor, the academic one, or the work supervisor, on what is actually affecting you mentally. There is no that provision. So you find that you have to deal with these things by yourself, and then you have to figure out them by yourself, and then it doesn't leave you the same mentally. What could be done is to try and find a way of maybe encouraging people and telling them at the start that even alongside with the internship, you'll find some mental challenges, and maybe the workplaces and the university should also find a way of finding ways so people can cope with the mental issues that they find, so that their productivity is not affected in any way, their performance, even in class, so that they can get good grades.
Karunji Joy, a fourth-year medicine student, currently interning at Mulago Hospital, but since cameras are not allowed there, we met her at her home where she shared her experience.
Karunji Joy, pursuing a bachelor's of medicine and surgery from Makerere University. I'm currently doing my internship from Mulago National Referral Hospital. The fear of working on patients, it's your first time, you don't know if you'll make a mistake. Sometimes the expectation is too much. They expect you to know things because you've studied them, but it's kind of different when you're working with an actual patient. Then the working hours are too long, the night shifts, you are a student, you're moving from Makere or wherever your home is to Molago, and you have to do a night shift. The working hours are long, we have 12-hour shifts. Feeding in such a way that if you're given the food, it is really not edible. Sometimes the food doesn't come, but also the time. Sometimes you're working on patients, you have an emergency, you're caught up at casualty, and then by the time you come, it's no longer lunch hours. Sometimes the place is very crowded, especially if you're working at an emergency setting like casualty or acute care unit, whereby the whole day you're up and down, you may not even get time to eat. Transportation from where you're coming from to where you're going is entirely on you as a person. No one caters for that. And also the time for moving. Some of us are girls, and you're doing night shifts that probably start from 8 p.m. and you have to travel. Sometimes you finish what you're supposed to do by like 1 a.m., but you can't even go back and you can't even sleep at the hospital. It's really challenging.
To health professionals see the signs students battling anxiety, burnout, and the fear of failure. Nsubuga Henry, the Director of Counseling and Guidance Center at Makerere University, shares his insights via a phone call conversation.
We have individual counseling services, we have also group counseling services, but also we have outreaches whereby sometimes we are invited by different units to give talks about different aspects related to mental health. Internships we can in case somebody presents themselves, but rarely, because usually people do internships from out of campus, they get out of here, so we have less access to them. But those who are within the campus, then we give them the services in case they are available, in case they if they present their issues when they come here, they have come for counseling, and we'll provide that. We just provide that the service that they need, that we have to offer. We don't offer less, we offer only what we are supposed to offer as the counseling and guidance center. It could be individual counseling, as I said. It could be that they need support, say they need a support letter of some kind, or they need any support, and in case it falls within what we are supposed to be providing, then we provide it. Follow-ups can be made, but they are only made when we realize there is a special case. Usually, the way counseling works is the client brings themselves, and they are the ones to follow up. If they are fine, many times, sometimes even they will never come back. But if they don't seem to be fine, they'll get back. And then, but also, one of the things we do is after the first session, we ask them to give us feedback, because after a session, usually there are things you talk about, and you need to see whether there is improvement. So we leave it to, quite often we leave it more to the client to do the needful. But in case we see there is a problem case, and this is on a case-to-case basis, we do reach out to them and find out how exactly they are. First of all, it's very important to know that you as an individual, you are more important than anything. And for you to be productive, and to live well, you need to have taken care of yourself physically, spiritually, mentally. When you're not well in those aspects, then, if one of them is squeaking, it's going to affect you in other aspects. And the normally forgotten aspect actually is the mental health. I am always shy. I can't speak in public. I fear approaching people. People sometimes never think about that as a mental health issue, but it's mainly starting from this. So the fear of going to reach out to someone is not because they have thorns and that's why we're fearing them, but it's because what's going on in your mind. And so you need, as we say at Makerere, we are building for the future. So we want to send out somebody who has the right tools in their hands to move out there. So if we are sending a journalist who is fearful, then they're not going to be helpful. So, and that might be the area of growth that we really want to support these people in. Things you need to do.
Joseph Ekeloti, a legal advisor at Estin Rising, recognizes the challenges that the interns face in their new environments, and accepts that if helped, they would overcome their fears, which would support their mental health growth.
Thank you a lot. I work as the legal advisor here at Einstein Rising. First of all, we're an organization that deals with entrepreneurs, and because of that, we get to attract some interns that come in, of course, for various opportunities. They have the challenge of being able to adapt to the working environment. And in most cases, you find that they come in with the theory they've learned from school, from the various universities. So when it comes in now to make the theory, work into the practical aspects of the work environment, the challenge they face is that either they are timid and they are not so sure of whether the knowledge they have obtained from campus or from various schools they attend to, you find that they are not so confident about that. And you find that they are slowed to make the decisions that they need to make in order to run their activities. And then with that, normally what we do is that we try to give them that self-reliance and also give them the confidence by giving them approvals of the work they do, and also working hand in hand with them with the immediate supervisors that they work with. And what we've seen with that is that at least after from around 2 to 3 weeks, you find that they become getting open and also getting the confidence because of the trust that you put in them. And at the end of the internship, we really see that there's always a total change, and the person leaves when they're fully confident of the knowledge that they have and also the experience, which has been now seen through the practical aspects that they've been engaged in during their work environment time at work. Many interns come in and they have the expectation of they need some facilitation in order to be able to do the internship. And that's normally a challenge because they give you reasons such as I came in late because I did have maybe enough transport to take a border to work, and then I've had to brave the jam through the taxis. And other cases, they don't even maybe come in because they feel like, oh, this time I did have enough money to bring me to work. So that has been a challenge. And as the institutions, in most cases, yes, we do sympathize with them, knowing the need for the money in order to facilitate life here, even in the work environment. And much as we do not have the incentives for them and we don't have a budget for the interns, most cases what we do is that we really do encourage them and show them the goal of the internship, and also showing them the practical lessons they're learning through working with us during the internship, and that most cases motivates them, and that you see that as they are motivated, then they get more committed to even probably get funds from other sources, or maybe try to get from family and continue with the internship. And
despite it all, some students have found ways to cope. Bido Yive, a student of social administration, does his internship at Einstein Rising, where he has been able to find resolutions for his worries.
Bido Yive, a student of Makerere, doing social work under the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. It had either use private transportation, but no public transportation accesses this area, and that thing really tortured me. Taxis are really very far. Borders to reach this side, they usually cost a lot. That transportation cost was really hiking each day, and whenever you're late, the transportation fees usually change from the normal fee usually budget for to an exaggerated fee. If it rains at some days, I used to miss work. But when I talked to the HR about all those issues, she was really understanding, and she put me on a daily allowance for transportation to ensure that I execute all their duties fully, and to ensure that I'm also convenient with the workspace. I'm also convenient with work being given to me, and I'm also convenient with co-workers, with the ones I met in the office. I found these problems, but when I brought them up, I realized these people also faced the same problems. So they had an idea of how to solve them, or they had ways they had also solved them. So they were really helping me out, and the environment where the co-workers were really helping me out. Most of them were old students from Makerere University, so they knew what I was going through. They didn't put a heavy load on me. They didn't over pressurize me. They allowed me to work on a normal pressure, because they knew it's my first experience. They realized it was really something new to me, of which I'm also very happy for the conducive environment which was provided to me by the co-workers, and I'm really working nicely.
How do we ensure students succeed, not just professionally but mentally too? The silent battles continue, but perhaps if we choose to listen, they don't have to remain unseen.